Oh, hey! Shit. Hi guys, I'm gonna apologize for my face now and brief this by saying I have neurovirus, so that's why I look like I'm dying. It's because I am. Because I am stuck here in this room, isolated from society. I figured I would just go ahead and tell you guys a story because it's been a minute since I've done a story time. And this particular one was brought up to me because I've been like low-key getting some clout on TikTok because I did some story times on there. Yeah, I'm one of those people that joined it ironically and now I can't fucking get off the app, so that's great. But anyway, my best friend from high school, who's still my best friend, his name is Byron. He's been on this channel, like you guys probably know him. He suggested that I tell you guys the story of the time our psychopath high school theater teacher abused us. Well, there were a lot of instances, but he brought up one specific time, and that story is much too long for a TikTok, and I don't really want to do it in parts, so I figured I'd make it a YouTube story time. So when I say my high school theater teacher was a psychopath, I literally mean, like, the definition of psychopath, from my understanding, is somebody who gets pleasure from other people's pain. Like, I swear this man thrived off that shit. Like, there would literally be times where we were doing costume fittings and a girl would come out in a costume and he'd be like, I don't like that costume, you look fat in it. Like, this man's literally, like, he loved having power. He loved making kids cry. He loved that there were kids that seeked his approval, and he purposely would give less attention to the kids that like seeked his approval more because he just loved having power. He gave us like this big sob story when he first came to our school, and he was like, I left my old school because I was bullied by the students and the teachers and their parents. Like, were you bullied or were you put in your place? That's what I would like to know, sir. But anyway, there was a lot of fucking shit that this man would do, and he acted like he was one of the high schoolers. He didn't act like an adult, but through all of the fucked up shit that he had done and did do in the future, and from my understanding, when I still talk to some kids that are still in high school, you know, still continues to do, this is by far, hands down, the worst thing that ever happened with this man. And to my knowledge, he shows no remorse. I apologize in advance if I maybe have lower energy. I'm gonna try not to, but like I said, I'm fucking dying. I have neurovirus. If you don't know what that is, it is the winter stomach bug. My stomach is emptying itself. Even though it's empty, it's still emptying itself. It's trying. I'm pretty much getting rid of my vital organs at this point, so. Now that you have that image in your head, let's get started. Okay, so my high school theater teacher was really into like the competitive side of theater. We would go to lots of different competitions and festivals and conferences and stuff like that. And a lot of high schools are a part of an organization called the International Thespian Society, which is basically a theater honors society. It's international because obviously more than just America does it. Don't ask me to tell you which countries do it, because for all I know there could be one other country or there could be 18 other countries. I don't fucking know who does it. All I know is that it was kind of a big deal in the US. As far as I know, every drama kid I met in high school and college and since at least knew what the Thespian Society was. So basically they had a state level conference and then they had a national level conference, and so states was obviously everybody in your state would come and you could go and you could get scholarships and you could go and you could do things called individual events where basically if you want to act and do some monologues or act and do a scene with somebody, or you could do musical theater, you could do a duet with musical theater or a group with musical theater or a group scene, or you could do something technical, you could present costume designs or lighting designs or stage management binders, basically whatever. There were some people who would like adjudicate your work and you'd basically just get some feedback, and it was kind of a cool thing. There were different like scores and ratings. I believe it was like fair, good, excellent, superior, and it was just kind of a cool thing if you got like a superior or even an excellent. But it didn't mean anything. It was basically just like feedback on how you're doing in your field of whatever. Anyway, I went my junior year and I had a really good time at States, and my senior year I really wanted to go because originally I wanted to be a theater teacher, because for some reason my psychopath of a fucking teacher just inspired me, I guess. Maybe I was like, I need to make sure that not only psychopaths can be theater teachers. So I went to go and audition to get a scholarship my senior year, and I figured I'd go ahead and do an individual event because why not? But I didn't prep for it a lot. Like, I didn't really care about the individual event. I was just like, it's free, I'll get some feedback on some acting. Fuck it. The school that I went to offered a musical theater class. So there was like, you could take like your normal theater elective, and then there was like a musical theater class, and you either had to be like handpicked or you had to audition or something like that. And so the musical theater class did the musical Ghost that year. They did it really well. I was not in the musical theater class personally. As much as I do love music and I do like to sing, I was never a strong like musical theater singer. I'm more of like an indie pop sort of voice, can't like belt and wail and stuff like that. So my strong suit was not like per se musical theater. So anyways, I wasn't in that class, but that class went into Ghost, and they got it like approved to go and be performed at the State Thespian Festival as one of the main stage shows. So everybody at the festival the first night got to go and see our school perform Ghost, and it went really, really, really well. But the thing is, when we got there, so this happened at Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech is where the Virginia State Thespian Festival was, because that's where I grew up and went to high school and everything. So at Virginia Tech, we had to go like into their big main theater, and we had 4 hours the night before our performance to go in and set up our entire set and get all the props into place and all the costumes into place and everything, and we had to like build everything and whatever. And because I was with them, you know, I was pretty much part of their crew, so even though I wasn't technically in like crew or cast or anything for that show, because I was with them at States, I still had to go and help them set up and things like that. So it took us the entire 4 hours to bring everything in and build it the night before. Plus, we had to come in early the next morning and like finish building it because we didn't finish the night before. This is when, at least I was informed, and I believe the majority of us were informed, that we were then going to have 1 hour immediately following the show to completely strike the set and pack it up and put it into our U-Haul and everything, because the show for the following night had to come in and set up their set. So this is a set that took us over 4 hours to load into a building and build, and now we have 1 hour to take it apart. So the day goes on, everybody's rehearsing, and then we do the show, and the show goes amazing. Everybody loved it. I'd seen them perform the show, run the show, whatever, a couple of times. I thought it was one of the best times that the show went. And the second the show is over, I'm still like wiping eye boogers and tears out my eyes, because Ghost is an emotional fucking roller coaster. Our theater teacher comes up to all of us and he goes, "Go, go, move, move, move." So we are tearing shit down, but the thing is, we can't completely destroy it because I think they still had like some more performances they were gonna do at home or something. They just didn't want to destroy the set. So we are literally like unscrewing things and like unbolting things and like trying not to destroy like all of this like building, and we are gaining on the 1 hour mark, and we are nowhere near even taking stuff down, let alone getting it out and packing it into a U-Haul. And we had so much shit, like it wasn't simple like pack and go. Like we were playing fucking Tetris, trying to get everything to fit into a U-Haul and onto a bus that like also transported us, so we couldn't get that much shit onto the bus. We are in the mountains because that's where Virginia Tech is located. It was January and it was nighttime. 22 degrees outside. I was wearing a crew neck, crop leggings, and Vans with no socks. That was the extent of my outfit, and that was very similar to the extent of a lot of people's outfits that night. Most people only brought like a crew neck and a pair of sweats and some sneakers, because we were under the impression that we were going to get to deassemble things in a heated building, and then we would throw it into a U-Haul and then get on a heated bus and go to our heated hotel. That is not what happened. So the 1 hour mark hits. The other show for the following night has to start loading in all of their stuff. So we start dragging all of our stuff out into the parking lot. It was below fucking freezing outside. Like, I couldn't feel my toes. We're in the parking lot. We're trying to finish taking apart the set. We're trying to load it all onto the U-Haul. And like I said, it was 22 fucking degrees outside and we were all freezing. So a couple of us, like little by little, we start kind of trickling onto the bus. We're like, there's heat on the bus. The bus was running. The bus driver was waiting for us. We are like all on there trembling, shaking, huddling for warmth. Eventually, I want to say at least half of us were on the bus. So we're sitting on the bus, we're trying to get warm. People are literally shoving their hands into their crotches just so they can feel their fingers. Like, that's how cold it is. Finally, some girls walk onto the bus with like a guy. Like, they were all like in our group and they all walk on with this guy and he does not look well. And I remember he just kind of looks around at like me and a couple other people and he's like, does my head look swollen? Do I have bruises? And we're all like, I'm sorry, what? Basically, what had happened was there was a plexiglass, I want to say like, I don't know if it was a phone booth or one of those plexiglass things that goes over a bus bench, but whatever, like it was a plexiglass structure. He was running so fast to get out of the cold onto the bus that he rammed into this thing. Kid gave himself a concussion. A fucking concussion! Meanwhile, there is one girl who's been on the bus the entire time, and she has like something. I was never completely clear. We were never super close. All I know is that she had something with her. She was born with some kind of really rare like condition. Where she was in like a lot of pain all the time, and I really like don't want to butcher this because she's like a really nice girl and I don't know anything about it and I don't want to like say anything wrong, but basically she was like practically paralyzed, like shaking and crying from the cold. So she's already in the back of the bus crying, shaking, practically paralyzed from this cold, right? Now we have a kid on the bus with a concussion. A friend of mine, like I had to walk him onto the bus because his asthma was acting up. Like, it's just shit show after shit show after shit show, right? Our theater teacher comes onto the bus. We're thinking, oh, he's gonna come on, he's gonna tell us, look guys, like I'm really sorry, I know that it's hard, like take your time, warm up, but really we need everybody to get this shit together so that we can get going. He comes on the bus and he goes, what the fuck is going on? There's this thing and it is called teamwork and you are all being selfish and you are all being lazy, and he just starts going off on all of us and he's like, I want everybody off this bus right now, and we're like, he can't, like he has a concussion, like, and he is losing his fucking shit. And the only person that he was like, the only person who can be on this bus is like, he said like the name of the girl who was like already like had a pre-existing condition because like he was hip. But like he was like, everybody else off this bus now. And we're all like, sir, this man here has a concussion, so he can't get off the bus. And he was like, concussion? You really, like he has a concussion. Really, tell me what happened. And so like we're like explaining to him, the kids who witnessed the incident are explaining what happened, and he just looks at the kid and goes, why do you always get fucking hurt? So anyway, we're all forced off the bus. It's literally 22 degrees outside. I specifically remember looking at my feet that didn't have socks on them and seeing that they were purple. And that's not an exaggeration. Like, I remember watching myself get frostbite. It was the most terrifying experience of my life. I mean, I've been through a lot of shit. Maybe it wasn't the most terrifying, but it was pretty fucking terrifying. Kids are crying, kids are shaking, like there's trauma happening. The other teachers like don't know what to do because he was literally Abby Lee from Dance Moms. Like, he just gave no fucks. 4 hours later, everything is assembled and we are allowed to go back onto the bus, and we are allowed to like go to our hotel, and I remember him like getting on the bus and being like, look guys, that was some great work out there. Go to your hotel room, go take a hot shower, get under a blanket. And one kid stands up who was like kind of like sciencey and like knew his shit and goes, hey, actually everyone don't jump right in a hot shower because your body can go into thermal shock. And we were like, fucking great. Like, a lot of us had college auditions and individual events and scholarship auditions the next day at 9 a.m. and it is like 1 o'clock in the morning. And literally when the theater teacher hears this kid talking about thermal shock, instead of like being taken aback and apologizing, he just goes, oh my god, okay, well then like I guess don't get in the shower right away, but you know what I mean. So we're getting back to the hotel. I'm holding my friend who had asthma. He also has, I guess he had this like rare condition apparently where he gets like his body loses heat faster than others. Something I didn't know about him until that night, but you know, some things you just gotta learn the hard way. He's like shaking and trembling. I have my arm around him, trying to comfort him, trying to warm him up. He's bawling his eyes out, going, I'm so cold. And my theater teacher looks at him, chuckles, and goes, get warm, buddy. No fucking shit. So at this point, I am just flabbergasted at everything that has just gone down. I don't really know what to do anymore. Another fun thing to know about me is that I have always had a really weak stomach, and there are certain things that can cause me to not do well in the stomach area, meaning basically I puke a lot. And it's just something that doesn't really faze me anymore because it's just how my body copes with certain things. But yeah, so 2 things that can contribute to me getting sick to my stomach are anxiety and I don't do well in cold weather. And I was anxious and cold. So I remember getting out of my bed in the hotel room, trying to run to the bathroom to throw up, not being able to make it to the bathroom because my feet are frozen, and just like crying and throwing up huddled over a trash can in the corner on the floor in my hotel room. That's how that night went for me. And the best part of the story is that while the rest of us were up in our rooms trying to regain body heat and attempt to shower without our bodies going into thermal shock and all crying and shaking and being traumatized, after he took the kid that got a concussion to the hospital, the next morning, we were all getting ready to go over to the college campus to do all of our auditions and shit, and we couldn't find him. And one of the teachers told us, oh, he had a rough night. He was exhausted, so he's sleeping in this morning. I hope you got your beauty rest, sir. To this day, I still can't feel my feet in the cold. Like, they have been severely fucked up from that incident. Basically, we were never apologized to. We received no compensation. That theater teacher is still fully employed at that school. Anyway, that was my little story time for you. I'm sorry that it may not have been as lively as some of my other story times, but like I said, I'm very, very sick right now. So don't forget to like and subscribe and comment and share and all of that good stuff. And leave me comments letting me know about your psycho high school theater teachers, because I know that the majority of them are fucking psychos. I will see you guys next time.